Welcome to the Sit Down presented by Visa. We're sat down with Jonathan Osorio, one of my favorite interviews. Great to see you. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. We're just weeks away from the World Cup. We're getting into your team. We're getting into the mentality of it, building up to the World Cup. But before we go there, you and I have talked about this a few times, but your first World Cup memory as a child, do you have one? Do you have a first World Cup?
Yeah, probably 98. So 98 is the first World Cup I remember, and I remember my mother at the time, both my parents let me stay home to watch Colombia and Tunisia. Colombia won the game 1-0, and I remember that like still kind of pretty vividly, and so yeah, that was for me my first memory, and then obviously the final of that World Cup as well. I was still very young, and then yeah, from from 2002 and on, I just kept following those tournaments closely. But yeah, I would say 98, Colombia, Tunisia.
Wow, you would have been really young, only what, six at that
6 years
time?
old. 6 years old. Yeah.
But the World Cup's been everything for football fans, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
for your family, the culture of watching every World Cup since then is special, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, of course, and in those times, Canada was in the World Cup, and so you obviously cheer for the motherland, and so yeah, Colombia was in 98, so we got that chance, but even, yeah, Colombia didn't make it 2002 or 6 or 10.
That's
so
right.
really you just watch for being a fan and for the love of the game, and the World Cup for anybody that loves the game is the pinnacle, right, in this sport. So yeah, it's exciting.
You obviously naturally guided me to the next question, as you often do, but I wanted to ask you about 14 because the run that they had, James and everything like that, and I know you were a player then, but you could still be a fan?
Yeah, oh, of course, definitely. I'm still a fan now for games, leagues. I'll always be a fan of the game. Always, I'll never leave. But yeah, 2014 was special because it was the first time back, and with the emergence of James and a lot of guys, honestly, on the team, Cuadrado and all these, Ospina and all these important guys in the history of Colombian soccer. It was a great run. It was an amazing run, and you remember it a lot for the goal, James's goal, and his tournament, and yeah, that was a great time for Colombia.
If you and I could go back and watch those games as a 22-year-old, and I was to say to you, you're going to play in a World Cup, would you believe that at that time? I know you're a positive guy, but the way Canada was, would you have believed?
Yeah, of course. At the time, yes, I would have believed. So the answer to your question is yes, but a little bit of delusion, But sometimes that's good, and you need that.
Dreams.
Exactly. You need to dream and believe, and I did. I truly did. I believed in the idea of it and everything, and so even though probably at that time it was just not realistic, but yeah, it was a different time in kind of soccer and the program and everything, and it's come a long way, and yeah, you kind of you hoped more than anything that would be the case, and thankfully, yeah, a lot of things started to emerge and fall into place, and here we are.
The dream became reality, and our embrace at BMO Field is always one of my career moments, and I always have to appreciate and be so grateful for you for that. But what did you learn from Qatar ahead of this next World Cup that you can help, and what this group learned during that World Cup phase?
I think the group got a lot of very important experience of what it is to play in World Cup matches, the feeling, the managing of situations and moments, the preparation going into it, and then everything around it, whether it's media, family, and all the extracurricular stuff, and managing that as well. I think that's important. It is still different. It will be different just because Qatar was very unique in the sense we're in one area, one hotel, whereas, this one will be different. We'll be traveling a little bit and things like that. But saying that, as far as the games, yeah, we just, how important maybe the first game is always important to start off well if you can, always with a result. It always helps. I think that you wonder if you get a result against Belgium, how everything plays out after that. You know, who knows? But you know, things like that, managing the moments and the intensity at which these games are played at, and just managing your emotions of the excitement of the World Cup, also just being even keel and letting yourself just play the game and play. Right. Treat it as any game that you prepare for, so that you can play like you always play.
You spend a lot of time together in a World Cup away from the pitch. We all get to evaluate the small amount of percentage of time you're on it, but you learned at that point how close the group was and needed to be. What do you see in this group that you see, obviously going into a new World Cup hosting, that you feel like that togetherness and camaraderie will be able to conquer that, even though it's a new road?
Yeah, I think what we've always had is that camaraderie and brotherhood. I think we had that in the last World Cup, and we continue to have that now. And I think we even embrace each other more and celebrate each other more now, because guys are, evolving and moving ahead in their careers, and so everybody on the team in some way is evolving, and we're all celebrating that and embracing that in each other. So I think we have that, and that's great. We support each other, and honestly, really no egos on this team. Everybody just wants everybody to be successful, and that's special. It's not easy to have in a team, and at this level where you kind of, as a professional, you have to have that sort of edge and a little bit of an ego. But for some reason in our space, in our area, there's none of that, and it's what makes this team honestly really special. So we got to carry that, and everybody we know in a tournament. I think we learned a lot from Copa America, honestly, and this is more of a group that's more similar to what will be at the World Cup than the last World Cup. And we learned a lot at Copa America. We were with each other till the end of the tournament, so for a long time, and you saw, everybody was pretty much used. Everybody had their moment to step up, and that's how I think the good teams play in tournaments. That's how they are successful.
You mentioned 22 to 26. You've always been so candid with me, so I appreciate the answer, no matter how candid you can be. But how have you grown away from the pitch during those 4 years? Because it's not been easy here, as we see you at your club game. It's not been easy for the club during that time, but you've been a model of professionalism throughout the whole time, a leader in terms of that, and a lot of evolved. What have you learned about yourself over the last 4 years that you've needed to bring to the team, both on and off the pitch, national team and club team?
Yeah, I think I just learned, and I'm in a new stage of my career, I think. It's been difficult, honestly. It's been difficult with the national team as well. It hasn't been as, it's not a sure thing for me to be on the national team as it was before. But that's a good thing. That's good. It has pushed me, and it has challenged me to do all the things on and off the field that I can to put myself in a position to always be in the team, to be a thought of being on the field. So really, it has challenged me to really evolve and really invest in myself to be the best professional and best player that I can be. And then also off the field, or when I'm not on the field, is by helping in any which way in the experience that I've been blessed to have in my career. So, a lot of these players I've played at levels that I have not reached. So to be honest, I even learn from them. But yeah, I think there are some moments that they I have the experience that I can also relay and help those guys on the team. But yeah, it's challenged me to evolve and to really push myself and really push myself really to my limits, to be in a good physical enough shape to play in the style, because it's not easy. It's not easy for a 25-year-old, let alone for me, older guy. So, and yeah, it's taught me a lot, honestly.
put a number on it. You're not that old. You're only 33.
Yeah.
So
But in this group,
I
I
agree.
feel old.
No, yeah. Let's go there then, because Richie Laryea called you recently to me one of the greatest leaders he's ever been around. Your coach Robin Fraser said recently that you're playing some of the best football you've ever played. But you just alluded to the fact that it's not a given for me now to be in this national team, as we are literally like days or weeks away from this World Cup roster being announced. How do you feel? Like, how is your mental state in terms of like, do you know for sure that you're on it? How do you deal with that at night? Do you lose sleep around it? Like, like your birthday is June 12th in Toronto, in your own stadium.
Yeah,
like,
but that's not a. I don't want that to be a factor for Jesse Marsh, and it won't be to select me. You know, it's. Yeah, you think about it. It's normal. We're human, right? You think about it. Am I, you know, and every game is important for me in that sense. I'm one of the guys on the team where every performance is important to show Jesse, right? Where, of course, some guys, you know, there's guys that have been injured for a long time, but, you know, there's such important guys on the team that when they're healthy, they're back in the team, you know what I mean? And maybe I had that at one point in my career as well, and I'm at the point where I am fighting. I am. It's reality, and yeah, I'm just, you know, for me, the mentality has been give everything. Mm-hmm. Not to take any day for granted, and doing everything I can every day to give myself the best chance. And then, you know, then those decisions are not in my hands, you know. Then it's in Jesse's hands. And then as long as I can see at the end whether I'm there or not, that I gave everything. I gave everything, and yeah, and then, you know, you go on with what happens after that. But honestly, it's a blessing to be in this position, because it has challenged me in ways that I've not been challenged in my career before, and I really feel that I've evolved. And right now in this moment, honestly, I feel good. I feel like I'm playing very well, playing some of the best football. I think people sometimes maybe don't see it because they don't see production, goals and assists, but I'm helping in many ways, and in ways that maybe kind of, I don't know if I should say this, but sometimes it's hard to see if you don't know. And I don't know if we're at that point here where, you know, those things are appreciated. Anyways, but I feel like I'm affecting the game and helping the team in a good way right now. So I felt like I had a good last camp as well. So yeah, now it's just about keeping that form, keeping healthy, and yeah.
I understand it. I appreciate the honesty. I do think there's a lot of people who do know. When you speak to people around the game, obviously people here at your team, your players, your teammates, the national team players, the coaches,
no, definitely,
some of the media members. But yeah, so I understand why you say what you said. I want to ask you about belief. You said something to me, and I think we're in Atlanta, when you said this team now believes, you know, we are who we think we are. And I thought that was a really important statement. We're about almost 22 months away from that statement. The belief is there, is it not, about this team? And how important will that be in the World Cup?
It's important. I think, you know, if you look at the best nations, of course, they have, I think the best nations in the world, the historicals, the Spain, the France, the Brazil, they have history on their side. So history allows them to think in a certain way that validates their belief and their thinking. We may not have history, but we have, you know, this group has you know, this cycle together, and our results that we have gotten and the things that we've done together that we can always, that validates the way we feel. And so we have to take that and run with it, I feel. And we have to go in with no fear into these games, and with the swagger and the belief that we are the better team, and if we play our game, we will win this game. I mean, I think if we play the game and go for it, we will give ourselves a really good chance to do really special things in this tournament.
I want to end this interview with a few rapid-fire questions, and you don't have to be rapid-fire answers, because I know how detailed you are, and I love that.
I know, I talk too much.
No, you don't. I love that about you. I will never tell you to talk. You do not talk too much. We appreciate the depth. I certainly do. Is there one game under Jesse Marsh for Canada that you think about more than any other, for any reason?
For myself, for the team.
Yeah, either. Yeah, one game that you think that Jonathan Osorio thinks about more than any other game for Canada under Jesse Marsh for whatever reason.
Oh, that's interesting. I will go with the Uruguay game.
Okay.
You know, Venezuela game I thought was really important, but I'm gonna go with the Uruguay game because I think in the Uruguay game he rotated a lot of guys and he saw the amount of depth that we have. I think in that game, and that's when you realize, oh wow, okay, we have a really good team here, a deep team, and guys that I can rely on, and guys that now I can help develop.
Great.
I really do think that that game, you know, was important for Jesse, I think, to see what he has, and for us, you know, being right there to having third place, which would have been, you know, that much more sweeter, obviously, to say that, you know, a bronze medal at a Copa America would have been amazing. But anyways, regardless, we battled to the end, and against the Uruguay, a very, you know, historical team in Copa America. But yeah, for those things that I said in the beginning, I will say the Uruguay.
I like that answer. I think Luke, Schwanier, Tani, Ali Ahmed all made their first starts, right, for Jesse on that day, and now look at them. So there you go.
That's exactly what I thought about.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I like that. In your entire career, who's been one of the toughest opponents or the toughest opponent that you've ever come across, and why?
Well, since we're talking about World Cup, I'll say Croatia. Croatia, yeah. It was tough. You know, I came on at halftime in that game. Yeah, just the way they, in tough moments, whether it was the beginning of the game, I think the beginning of the second half, they started on the back foot again, but they're so experienced and so composed, the way they're able to manage those situations and come out of it better.
Right.
That was impressive for me, and honestly, it just validated what, you know, why they've gone so far in 2 World Cups in a row. I saw it, you know, right there in real time, and so yeah, and just the midfield, the way they can control a game, it sucked to be on the other side of it, but when you look back and look at the game, it was amazing.
I remember being there. You mentioned the 45 minutes. When I asked Richie that question, he picked Angel Di Maria, and he talks about Copa America, and he talks about concentration levels. When you're going up against Brozovic, Kovacic, and Modric in that, is that where concentration levels need to reach even another level for you?
Oh my God, yeah. I would say in all World Cup games, the concentration level and the mental activity that you have to like go through is heightened, for sure. Because for 1 second you switch off, you're dead, you know. So yeah, I would say it's the same. I would say it's for all in the 3 World Cup games that you know I played in before. It felt like that in all 3 games, honestly. But yeah, especially in that Croatia game, and yeah, so it's also the mental side that adds to the fatigue of actually running around as well. So
right.
You have to, when you go into these tournaments, you're trying to be as fit as you can, mentally and physically, because you need both. You need both in those type of games, for sure.
Let's end on a fun one. If you got stuck in an elevator with 2 national team teammates, but you could pick who they were, who would you pick and why?
I will say a bunch of guys, honestly.
Can I pick 2? You don't want too many in there. It's going to get pretty squashed.
No, yeah. But of the 2, I'll just pick my guys. I'll go with Richie Larea and Stefan Estacchio.
For what reasons?
Richie, you know, I think it will be funny. He'll keep it light, and at first, you know, he'll lose his head a bit and show a bit of emotion, which will be funny. And then, you know, Estacchio for, you know, his brain. Hopefully he'll find a way to get us out, you know. And then maybe if brute force is needed, you know, you have Richie as well right there. So
strong.
I will choose those 2.
Richie's got to be your favorite teammate, hasn't he, over the years? He picked you when I asked him that question.
No, there's yes, for sure.
You guys
Richie,
have a special bond.
Yeah, we've gone through a lot together, and many great moments, many, you know, low moments. So You know, he's one of my longest tenured teammates for sure. So of course, yeah, Richie is, you know, definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite teammate.
And when he goes over that line, he just gives you the team so much, right? From a mental aspect and tempo.
I think he gives the team so much, yeah. Mental aspect, tempo, physicality, his technical ability. I feel like his tactical ability has improved so much. And yeah, he's an animal, honestly. And the country and this club is lucky to have him.
The country and this club is lucky to have you, my friend, as well.
I appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for being so candid, and we'll see you at the World Cup.
Thanks, KJ.